A chance to take 3 of 4 from the Giants. D-backs baseball brought to you by Sanderson Ford. It's August 5th, and the D-backs are alone in front of the National League West. And today we conclude a 4-game series with San Francisco. Join us for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Renly along the way. We have exactly 50 games to go in the 2018 regular season, and the D-backs are alone atop the division. But it's neck and neck here, Bob. And if the Diamondbacks want to get to where they want to get to, they need Robbie Ray to figure out his problems.
Absolutely. And Robbie's problem basically has been lack of command. Just can't control the ball in the strike zone. Walks and high pitch counts have really hurt him. Over his last 6 starts, he's carrying an 0-2 record with an ERA over 6. The D-backs are 1-5 in those 6 starts. They definitely need Robbie to get back on the beam.
A matchup of left-handers, Robbie Ray and Derek Holland for the Giants. How about Nick Ahmed? The last 30 games, at least according to OPS, he's been the best offensive shortstop in baseball.
Well, the eye test would tell you that, hitting .330 over his last 30 games. The OPS over 1,000. He's driven in 25, 18 extra base hits. Nick just got tired of being classified as a defense-only shortstop. He's really flexing his muscles this year.
Sure is, coming off a 2-home-run game last night. So a chance to take 3 of 4. It's the Diamondbacks and the Giants on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. This season, D-backs home runs. Score free Jumbo Jacks, only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By One AZ Credit Union, let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. Set for the finale, the D-backs and the Giants. Here's the voice of Chase Field, Mr. Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and please remove your hats. Please direct your attention to the field as we honor the United States of America and pay tribute to our veterans, active duty, and retired men and women of our armed services. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants invite you to join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by the Campo Verde High School Band under the direction of Matt Kozak and Taylor Mitchell.
The Campo Verde High School Band inside Chase Field. D-backs baseball on this Sunday. Brought to you by Sanderson Ford. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly, Kate Longworth with you. Oscar Soria and Rodrigo Lopez on our Spanish language broadcast on Fox Sports Arizona Plus. The third of a four-game series, or pardon me, the fourth of a four-game series. D-backs trying to win 3 against these Giants, who are now 500 on the year under Bruce Bochy, 56-56. They are 6 games behind the Diamondbacks division lead. And here's the San Francisco lineup today. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Andrew McCutcheon's had a big series for the Giants. He'll lead it off again today out in right field. Buster Posey back in the lineup at first base tonight, or this afternoon. Evan Longoria will be at third base. Nick Hundley doing the catching. Austin Slater had another great series. He'll be out in left field. Chase Darno at second base today. Gorky Hernandez in center. Alan Hansen at shortstop, and left-hander Derek Holland on the mound.
And for the D-backs, your Ram truck starting pitcher is the lefty Robbie Ray. Scattered results since he came back from the oblique injury that shelved him for 2 months. And today, Robbie looking for his first win since June 27th.
Well, and hopefully the Giants will be the team to get him back on track in his last 5 starts against the Giants. He's 3-0 with a 1.84 ERA. Just needs to command that strike zone, avoid the walks, avoid the deep counts.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense.
John Jay getting the start in center field this afternoon. David Peralta will be in left. Steven Souza Jr. in right. Eduardo Escobar at third base. Nick Ahmed, the red hot Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Ketel Marte, he's pretty hot too, over at second base. Paul Goldschmidt will be at first with John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for left-hander Robbie Ray.
Gabe Morales is our plate umpire today, calling the balls and strikes. Tony Randazzo's at first base. Lance Barrett at second. And the crew chief Bill Welke is our third base umpire this afternoon. Time, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, this applies in a number of different ways, but 3 and out. Take 3 out of these 4 games. Pay close attention to the first 3 hitters in this Giants lineup, who are combined .325 with 3 homers against Robbie Ray. And Get 3 quick outs in the first inning and get your offense up to the plate. The Diamondbacks have been quick strike in this series.
An immediate test for Robbie. McCutchen, Posey, Longoria 1, 2, and 3 as we start the top of the first in the series finale from downtown Phoenix. And McCutchen now batting .264 with 12 home runs, 5 for 5 last night. He doubled and homered. Robbie starts off with a curveball in the dirt. McCutchen's home run last night is second in 4 games. D-backs have 3 defenders on the third base side against him. Fastball just off the plate, but he strikes as Gabe Morales. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Goldie the only defender on the right side, and there you see why.
Yeah, McCutchen did sneak one through the right side yesterday. One of his 5 hits was a ground ball through the right side. That's a rarity, however, for Andrew McCutchen.
Fastball misses upstairs. It's 2-1. Here's the slider. So Robbie right away. Curveball, fastball, slider. That's the 3-pitch arsenal. Buster Posey had the night off last night, in there at first base today. Lays off the slider low at 87, and it's full 3-2. Andrew McCutchen has done some damage against the D-backs this year. 4 doubles, 3 home runs. He's got 8 RBIs in 15 games. And making Robbie work right out of the gate here. D-backs 12 over 500 all alone atop the NL West. Leading the Dodgers by 1 game, the Rockies by 3, and the Giants by 6. Rockies leading 3-1 in Milwaukee. Dodgers trailing at home right away. 1-0. The Astros have the early lead. Garrett Cole and Walker Buehler in that one.
Apparently George Springer for the Astros led off the game with a solo homer.
Nick Ahmed's former UConn teammate. Some hot Huskies here. There's Tom the Dark Knight Harvey, our Golden Glover, down the left field line today. Skip Miller is working right field for us.
The difference is our Dark Knight's not going anywhere.
Matt Harvey, you never know. Matt Harvey. 9th pitch of the at-bat on the way. And the curveball misses low. McCutchen aboard to lead it off. That was the problem for Robbie in his last start Monday against Texas. Long at bats, even when he was getting his outs. He had a whole bunch of 3-2 counts, extended at bats. And by the 5th and 6th innings, the walk started to pile up, and he had to come out of the ball game.
Yeah, only gave up 2 hits in that ball game, struck out 6, but the 4 walks had him behind the 8 ball all night long.
Buster Posey, 297 and 5 homers. Well, it looks like Gabe Morales is going to give Robbie that strike just off the plate away from the right-hander. He's got a couple of calls out there so far. Keep nibbling away over there with a curveball and the slider. Robbie stepped off there, but McCutchen did not go back to the bag. He'll stay put over there. He's got 9 stolen bases. There's a good fastball. Robbie has had problems at times this year getting that fastball down and in to righties. He was able to bury that in there that time. It's 0-2. John Ryan Murphy behind the plate.
That should be a pick move to first base when you see that thumb come out.
Robbie does, and I know you'll like this, seem to be varying that move to first a little more often this year.
Personally, I'd like to see him throw a couple of slow moves just like he did over to first base, kind of lull that base runner into a false sense of security, and then snap that throw over there when he steps off the rubber.
Yeah, he's got a quick throw. Sliders down low, 1-2.
I mean, base runners can be set up just like hitters can be set up. You know, you show them a couple of bad moves over to first base and they get a little bold. Hey, I can get an extra step. He's not fooling me. And then put the good move on him, you might be able to pick him off.
And McCutchen has lost a step or so. Now 31 years old. He's been caught 5 times this year trying to steal.
Best left-hander I ever saw was Jimmy Key. As far as varying your delivery to home plate, varying your pickoff moves to first base, he could throw over from a high leg kick, from a slide step. He could step off the rubber and snap a throw over there. He was really good at holding base runners and picking off base runners.
Up the middle, and Marte is there, tries to get the force on McCutchen. It rolls away from Ahmed, and everybody's safe. That's a base hit for Posey.
It looked like it was going to be a base hit through into center field. Marte gets to it, tries to shovel it back to the base to Nick Ahmed, who tries to barehand it while keeping a foot on the bag. Just couldn't quite make the play.
Well, Bob, your key to the game, 3 and out, is not working out so far. McCutchen walk, Posey an infield single. Down here's Evan Longoria, hitting .255 with 11 home runs. 2 on, no outs.
Well, he could still turn a triple play and get out of the first inning 3 and out.
Pitch efficiency. Curveball's a strike. Robbie's got to land that curveball and slider for strikes. Longoria's had a big visit here. 5 hits in the series. He doubled last night. Homered here Thursday. Slider just a little bit in for Gabe Morales. 1-1. Did you catch Jimmy Key in Toronto?
Yeah. It was kind of funny because in spring training I was kind of Jimmy Key's personal valet catcher.
Good career move.
Yeah, and a lot of times the team would be playing a game in Dunedin, but Jimmy Key wouldn't want to pitch against that opponent because he was going to see him during the regular season. So he would go to a minor league field or go somewhere else to pitch a ball game. So jumped in his pickup truck and the 2 of us would go play a ball game and then come back and join the rest of the team later in the afternoon.
John Jay's out there in center. They retire Longoria for the first out of the ball game. Brings up Nick Hundley. Yeah, it's if you've ever been to a spring training game in Dunedin, that's when you really appreciate the Cactus League.
Oh boy, do you ever.
246 and 9 homers. You've got Posey at first today and Hundley behind the plate. After Posey was held out of the ball game last night just for observation after feeling a little woozy earlier in the series. But he's passed all his concussion tests and good to go for today. Good fastball at 95 right in there. Oftentimes this year that arm side fastball has sailed up on Robbie, up and away from the right-hander, but he's locating that well so far, getting it down and in.
Went for the Giants offense in game 1 of this series, that Madison Bumgarner Zach Greinke matchup. Giants won that one 8-1. They were 5 for 10 with a sac fly with runners in scoring position. The next 2 ball games, however, the Giants only 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
Just haven't been able to get the big hit. Hundley is 0 for 5 in the series. Goldie's got it. And how about that? Well, not quite a triple play, but that'll work out. Left-hander, 5-8, a 3.90 ERA. Holland this year winless in 3 starts against the Diamondbacks.
A couple of different fastballs, a 4-seamer and a 2-seam sinker. Has the full complement of pitches. Throws a curveball, a slider, and a changeup. Everything works off that fastball. If he's feeling the 4-seamer, you'll see more of those. If he's liking the sinker, you'll see more of those.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup.
David Peralta out in left field, leading it off. Eduardo Escobar at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Steven Souza Jr. out in right field with Ketel Marte at second. Nick Ahmed at short. John Jay in center field. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching, and Robbie Ray, the lefty, on the mound.
Peralta leads it off. There's that sinker in from Holland. David, 296 and 17 home runs. Well, it's just about in the same spot, but couldn't check. It's 1-1. David has 8 hits in this series. He has doubled twice and homered. Sinker way in on the lefty. 1-2. Oh boy, David did not look like he's picking up the ball at all off the hand of Derek Holland, and he strikes out. Here's a look at the Giants defense. That's provided by E.B. Marshall Jewelers.
Andrew McCutchen in right field. Gorkis Hernandez out in center. Austin Slater over in left field this afternoon. Evan Longoria at third. Alan Hansen at short. Chase Darno at second. Buster Posey at first base, with Nick Hundley doing the catching for the lefty Derek Holland.
And got some of the Giant left-handers sitting out against Robbie Ray. No Brandon Crawford, no Joe Panik. Here's Eduardo Escobar. A 278 batting average, 15 home runs. There's hard sinker from Holland, up and away.
I mentioned yesterday that Brandon Belt was eligible to come off the disabled list today. We saw him out on the field before the ball game, taking some ground balls, going through some running drills. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be before they get Brandon Belt back, but as we mentioned yesterday, they're a very right-handed heavy team with Brandon Belt out of the lineup.
That was a pretty good changeup there in the strike zone from Derek Holland, but Gabe Morales said ball 2.
Every day.
And there's the curveball. Now it's 3-1. Goldie on deck. He didn't go, says Tony Randazzo. A 1-out walk. Paul Goldschmidt. 277 batting average, 24 home runs. Go Goldie. Singled twice and walked last night. Homered here Friday. The 200th of his career. Big cut at that first pitch slider. Derek Holland has not won a game since June 20th. So it's been a while. Since then he's worked as both a starter and reliever. Holland 4 appearances out of the bullpen. His last 2 outings have been starts, and he's not pitched badly. 1 earned run, 3 hits in 6 at Seattle. And then last Monday, 2 runs on 4 hits in 5 innings at San Diego, both no decisions. This is a bouncing ball to second. Darno, Hansen for 1, and they turn the double play. We'll head to the second at Chase Field. No score, D-backs and the Giants.
on the mound searching for his first win because he hasn't recorded one in the last 6 weeks. However, through those struggles, the lefty has remained unrattled and kept that confidence about him. And Torrey appreciates that, knowing that Robbie is quite the competitor. He said he's been very receptive to anything the coaching staff has worked on the past couple months with him. But today, as you guys mentioned, Torrey wants to see Robbie with a bit more efficiency, going out there, attacking the zone and finishing off those hitters, because he said if Robbie can get those 2 strikes, well, he has the ability to bury his opponents, and he likes his chances for the D-backs if that happens.
Yeah, Kate, Robbie seems to be very much a momentum pitcher. When he gets rolling and gets in a rhythm, that's when he really takes off. Austin Slater, the left fielder today, leads off the Giants' second.
Boy, and a tip of the cap to Clay Buchholz, yesterday's starter, who couldn't find it early in the ball game, managed to keep the team in the game until he did find it, and then he cruised his last 2 innings of that ball game yesterday.
Yeah, Clay was on the ropes there for a while, almost 90 pitches after 4 innings, but he retired the last 7 he faced and picked up his 5th win of the year. He's 5-1. There's the fastball, and it's 1-2. Slater, 4 hits and 4 RBIs in the series. He's also walked twice. They were finally able to contain Austin Slater. Last night he was 0 for 3 and struck out 3 times. And Slater, for a guy who's only played 5 games against the D-backs all year, has done a lot of damage. 9 for 17. 3 doubles, 7 RBIs. He's had the D-backs number this year.
And most of that damage coming to the opposite field, especially when he gets to 2 strikes. He's willing to give it up and just try to shoot the ball into right field somewhere. He's done so successfully against the Diamondbacks. Hey, you look at his spray charts, he hits the ball all over the field, but it seems like against the Diamondbacks, maybe it's the way we're pitching him, he just seems to want to hit everything to right field.
And always with guys on base, it seems, too. Well, he's able to check on that curveball from Robbie, and now he's worked at full 3-2. This is the situation that Robbie's got to try and avoid. These long 3-2 counts, long at bats. Pitch count gets up there. Chase d'Arnaud on deck. Fastball right at the knees, and he's got his first strikeout.
In San Francisco, we used to call that low fog. When a guy throws a mid to upper 90s fastball down there at the bottom of the kneecaps, it's like a fog laying on a meadow somewhere early in the morning down around your ankles. There's not much you can do with 95 at the bottom of the kneecaps.
Chase d'Arnaud, 245 and 3 homers. Another good fastball down and in against a righty. That's a key for Robbie. d'Arnaud 0 for 5 in the series. He struck out 4 times. Joe Panik sits against the lefty this afternoon. Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead over the Astros. Second inning in LA. Brian Dozier just knocked in 2 runs. That's just foul down the third baseline. d'Arnaud can be a problem. He's hitting over .330 versus left-handers this year, including all 3 of his home runs. So Bruce Bochy's got him in there today. Pull it right back up the box. That one almost clipped Robbie. And d'Arnaud has a 1-out single.
Center fielder, number 7, Gorkys Hernandez.
Gorkys Hernandez, the center fielder. 266, 13 home runs.
Good news on the waiver wire this morning, partner.
The Padres just said, take him.
Get Tyson Ross out of the West. Claimed by the Cardinals today, and of course we finished our season schedule with the Cardinals, so we won't have to see that slider at least until next year.
Yeah, the Padres had some guy that they put on revocable waivers, and Tyson Ross got claimed by St. Louis. Jordan Lyles got picked up, I believe it was by Milwaukee, and the Padres just said, yeah, go ahead, take him.
Go ahead.
So Tyson Ross is in St. Louis now. Hernandez skies this one third base side for Escobar.
That was kind of odd, because generally you put a guy on revocable waivers. If somebody claims him, you pull him back off and then say, okay, if you want him, give me a couple of minor leaguers or give me a utility player. You know, you work out a deal, but they just said go ahead and take him.
And with waivers now post trade deadline, as Alan Hansen comes in, you'd be stunned to see some of the names. You get some big names on that list, but they never get claimed because they're making so much money. Hansen's in at shortstop for Brandon Crawford, who has the day off. I guess the Padres figured, well, we'll just save a couple of bucks and move on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All the right-handed hitters in the Diamondbacks lineup are very grateful for that.
Padres have Joey Lucchesi on the mound. They lead the Cubs at Wrigley Field 5-3 right now in the 7th inning. Rockies lead 3-1 at Milwaukee. They're in the 9th. Oh, that's a bad swing on that breaking ball. Hansen batting .280. He's got 6 homers.
Yeah, much better from the left side of the plate. You could possibly tell from that last swing, a lot of indecision that time, swinging from the right side.
Yeah, the batting average for Hansen drops about 50 points as a right-hand batter. All 6 of his home runs have come from the left side. But Crawford has really scuffled. They needed to get him a day. So Bruce Bochy saw Robbie Ray out there. Left-hander, let's sit Crawford today. Crawford hitting under 180 since July the 1st. So it's Hansen in at shortstop. Darno takes off. They got him hung up. And that'll end the top of the 2nd inning. Giants run into it out. No score chase. Fans, you can play along in our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery. From home, along with all of us at the ballpark, your chance to win half the pot here at Chase Field and help the kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And the winning number gets revealed on the postgame show.
I almost won yesterday.
I saw it was close, right? I would have been in for half of your half.
There is no close in that lottery. Like horseshoes and hand grenades.
I saw your staff pouring over your tickets, and there was one that was right in the ballpark.
Close. Close.
Steven Souza Jr. bats cleanup, leads off the second. Souza coming off a big night last night. He doubled and tripled. Drove in 3 runs, scored twice. Holland floats a curveball in for a strike, 1-1. Got a Steven Souza Jr. cup of coffee on the schedule this week.
Nice.
Yeah, cup of coffee is back this year. Producer Josh Kellman arranging that. And how about that? Say goodbye, Steven Souza Jr. The coffee's on him. That's his 3rd. And it's 1-0 D-backs. Boy, that was just a nice, easy swing.
Got a breaking ball, guessed right, caught it out in front of the plate and drove it way out of here to left field. You know, when Steven Souza Jr. first came back off the disabled list, his timing was off. He was behind fastballs, out in front of off-speed pitches. But with each successive game, he's a little bit more on time on the fastball, waiting back better on the off-speed pitches. He is very close to being completely locked in.
That's a jumbo jack. Free jumbo jack tomorrow with Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Here's Ketel Marte. 255 and 10 homers for Ketel. Oh man, that sinker's way in on the right-hander, but it's 0-2. Gabe Morales back there. This is popped up to shortstop for Hansen.
Yeah, Marte made out right there. But since the 4th of July, the shortstop second base combination for the Diamondbacks, whether that's Ahmed, Marte, Daniel Descalso, since the 4th of July, a .999 OPS combined, highest in the major leagues. They're first in on base percentage, first in walks, 4th in home runs. And
playing spectacular defense.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And that's a position where offense usually comes secondary. You want to make sure guys can pick up the ball, get the outs they should, but they're all providing some offense as well.
And Ahmed has been red hot for 30 games now. Can't check on that sinker up and away. It's 0-1. Nick 4 hits in this series, including a 2-home run game last night. His 2nd career multi-homer game.
Yeah, Nick had 2 bombs in the game yesterday, and Ketel Marte hit one 465 feet, tied for the 9th longest in the big leagues this year. He hit it out there on the concourse.
And then you've got Nick, who over the last 30 games has been statistically in a lot of categories the best offensive shortstop in baseball. That fastball misses in. Nick this season has 88 hits. Exactly half of those are extra base hits.
Outstanding.
That was Chuck Drago's stat. Chuck brought that one into the booth here today.
Along with the donuts.
Along with the donuts. So you're going to take a donut, you got to use the stat. So way to go, Chuck. Look at Rob's looking like, oh, you're looking stuff up now, right? Yeah. Chuck brings it, man. There he is. Oh, look, he's got Kid Castor entourage around him. 2-2. Slider misses down and in, and Nick has worked it full. That's pretty amazing. Did you ever think there'd be a day where I'd tell you on August 5th that half of Nick Ahmed's hits this year extra base hits?
I don't think anybody could have anticipated it. We knew it was in there. You just had no reason to believe it was going to consistently show up.
Punches that one out to right for McCutcheon.
You know, the one danger when you go on a run like Nick has been on recently over his last 30 ball games, everybody wants to ask you about it. Oh, what do you attribute your success to? Are you doing something different with your swing, your launch angle, your feet, your hands? And then you start thinking about it. That's the worst thing that can happen to a hitter.
Well, Dave Magadan has worked a lot with Nick. Nick is a tinkerer. He tinkers with stuff all the time. I think this year he's a little less mechanical and more athletic, he'd tell you. And it's really working out. John Jay The center fielder, day off for A.J. Pollock. Jay 280, 3 homers. A squib shot to short for Hansen. Well, Steven Souza Jr., his 3rd of the year, gets the D-backs started. And they lead the Giants 1-0 as we head to the 3rd. By T-Mobile, George Springer of the Astros, the first pitch of the game at Dodger Stadium from Walker Buehler is gone. It was 1-0 Houston, but then Brian Dozier off Garrett Cole drives in 2, and LA leads Houston 2-1 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Rockies are winning at Milwaukee 4-1 there in the 9th. There's Alan Hansen trying to bunt his way on. Hansen was up there to end the 2nd inning when Chase Darno was thrown out.
You know, that used to be standard operating procedure. If there were 2 outs in the inning and the number 7 hitter reached base, try to get to second as quickly as possible. Try to steal that bag, give your 8 hitter a chance to possibly drive home a run. If you happen to get thrown out the way Chase Darno was, then you have your number 8 hitter leading off. Ideally, he gets on base and you can have your pitcher bunt him up.
It's a much more interesting game in this league, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Bad swing and a curveball. Hansen so far has kind of looked overmatched against Robbie Ray, batting from the right side.
Yeah.
Some ugly swings. Well, this is a guy that's done his share of damage against the D-backs this year, Alan Hansen. 5 RBIs in 8 games, couple of doubles, a home run. No chance on the fastball. 2nd strikeout for Robbie.
You see John Ryan Murphy giving that high target. He wanted that 4-seamer up in the zone. That's right where Robbie put it. Hansen cannot catch up.
Derek Holland, the pitcher now. Holland, left-hand thrower, right-hand hitter, so he's got that pitching arm out there in front with the elbow guard on. Fastball away for a strike. Would just make such a difference, as Kate was talking about earlier, when Robbie can just get a little bit of momentum, get in that rocking chair a bit. That's when he really gets rolling. And it oftentimes takes an inning or 2, but once he gets comfortable and establishes a rhythm and a tempo, he's almost hard to hit. I mean, almost hard to beat, I should say. Ahead of Holland 0-2. Or hard to hit. Either one. 3 strikeouts.
Hey, fans, receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos.
Well, now your key to the game. 3 and out. The top 3 in the Giants order. The big boys: McCutchen, Posey, Longoria. McCutchen walked to lead off the ball game.
Yeah, the most experienced and most accomplished hitters in this Giants lineup stacked up at the top here for Bruce Bochy today.
Well, what do they call it? The golden inning, the platinum inning, perfect inning, immaculate inning.
There you go.
Robbie so far has 2 strikeouts on 6 pitches. So much for that.
Yeah.
Base hit by McCutchen. Well, he's really heating up. 5 for 5 last night and a walk and a single today. Here's Buster Posey.
McCutchen's been on base twice in the ball game already. Drew that leadoff walk on 9 pitches to start the ball game, and then his second at bat he jumps on the first pitch he sees for a base hit.
2-out base runner for Posey, who singled up the middle his first time. Fastball's a strike, 0-1. Posey, 5 hits and a walk in the series. He had to leave Friday's game early after suffering concussion-like symptoms. Felt a little lightheaded on the bases after a base hit, so he sat out last night's ball game. Back in there today. In fact, Giants said after the game last night that Posey was okay, feeling good, and would be in the lineup today at first.
And this is pretty much standard operating procedure for Bruce Bochy anyway. Day game after a night game. Get Nick Hundley behind the plate against the left-hander and slide Buster Posey down to first base even when Brandon Belt is healthy.
Robbie, 40 pitches, 30 strikes. No, we didn't, Tony Randazzo. Yeah. Here's the best angle.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Hitters count here 2-1. There's the fastball for a strike. It's 2-2. Gabe Morales continues to give Robbie the outer half like that against some of these right-hand hitters. And strike zone's getting a little fat out there. Take advantage. Longoria would be next. Posey has been red hot lately. Even after having to come out of the game on Friday, he's got 14 hits in his last 25 at bats right now. He's hit safely in 7 straight. Fastball in. Full count, 3-2. That's a really good sign, Bob. I think he's able to get that fastball in there to these righties. That's been an issue at times this season.
Because as a hitter, if you see 95 on that inside corner of the plate, you mentally tell yourself, I need to be a little quicker to get to that pitch, and then that opens up the outside part of the plate.
And Posey lays off the curveball. A single and a walk with 2 outs. Bring up Longoria. Second walk issued by Robbie Ray. Well, so far your key to the game is not working out all that well. McCutchen has walked and singled. Posey has singled and walked. Here's Longoria, who flied out his first time. First pitch curveball. Longoria's got a 7-game hit streak. 5 hits in the series. Fastball up, and it's 0-2. D-backs have the shift on against Longo. 3 infielders on the left-hand side. Couple of hard sliders too far in. Longoria's back even at 2-2. Torrey was telling us this morning that when Robbie Ray does not have one of his best outings, it's usually because of one thing that's very identifiable. Either the breaking ball's a little loose, not sharp, not crisp, or the fastball command's not there. There's usually the one thing. Haven't really seen one thing so far. That one is a squib shot into right center. They're going to send McCutchen home. He will score to tie the ball game, and Posey's in at third.
Gets that fastball right in on the hands of Evan Longoria. Hit it down near the trademark, but you can see with that shift, a lot of room on the right side. That one just trickles through into center field for an RBI base hit.
Well, Giants had 2 outs, nobody on, but the top 3 all reach. And now we're tied at 1. Here's Hundley.
Robbie's thrown a few sliders off the plate inside that in the past we've seen right-handed hitters swing at. I don't know whether they're picking up quickly out of his hand or guessing right, but they've laid off some of those sliders that usually he gets swings and misses on. He's thrown 13 sliders in this game, has yet to have one swung at and missed.
That's really, really unusual. He's landed the curveball for strikes, but you're right, they're laying off, just spitting on that slider.
I guess the way to combat that, if you're Robbie Ray and John Ryan Murphy, is to throw some of the sliders on the outer third of the plate. Start them over there in the left-handed batter's box. Try to nip that outside corner a few times. That will force the Giants to respect that pitch and be ready to swing at it. Then you throw it down and in.
Now he's behind on Hundley, 2-0. Austin Slater would be next. 3 balls and no strikes on the Giants catcher. Hundley swinging on a 3-0 fastball that was ball 4 there.
That's the kind of swing on a 3-0 pitch that'll get you the take sign on the next 3-0 count.
Yeah. Well, boy, Robbie was cruising along. 2 strikeouts on 6 pitches to start this inning. 2 walks, 2 singles. Now they're loaded. The inning continues for Slater. Here's Mike Butcher. And this is what Torrey talked about with Robbie in his last start against Texas earlier on this homestand. Just things kind of extending. A lot of 3-2 counts. At bats go on for a long time, and pretty soon you look up and the pitch count is way up there.
In the past for Robbie, it was many times foul balls that ran up his pitch count early in the ball game and forced him to come out a lot earlier than Torrey wanted to take him out of ball games.
Well, It's the troublesome Austin Slater who struck out looking his first time up today. Bases full, 2 outs, a run is in. Slater already with 7 RBIs against the D-backs this year. Posey's at third, Longoria's at second, and Hundley's at first. There's a slider for a strike. It's 1-1. Robbie had a very encouraging return from that oblique injury June 27th at Miami. Only 2 hits and 2 walks and 6 scoreless. Since then, however, winless in 6 starts. D-backs have gone 1-5 in Robbie's last 6 starts. Trying to get out of a bases loaded mess here in the third. There's the fastball, and it's 1-2. It was in these moments when Robbie last year was really on a roll. He would just bully guys with that fastball, just blow them away one by one after the other. Haven't really seen that approach or that attack from Robbie yet this year. Time to get nasty out there.
Yeah, another fastball up would probably accomplish what he's looking for right here. Slater has proven to be a pretty good low ball hitter.
Here's the 1-2. There it is. Fastball up does the trick. But the Giants get the equalizer. We're tied at 1. Right to our booth. Wetzel's Pretzels here at the ballpark. Nothing beats that. So come on down in 2019. Get your Wetzel's Pretzels and your D-backs season tickets. They're on sale right now for next year. They'll get guaranteed seats to all the big matchups next year. Postseason priority as well. Give us a call, 602-462-4600, or log on to dbacks.com/tickets. John Ryan Murphy leads off the bottom of the third against Derek Holland. Now a 1-1 ball game. John Ryan behind the plate today, 213 and 9 home runs. Giants have the shift on against the right-hand batter. There's that sinker. Holland has been firing one sinker after another at the D-backs so far. Mostly keeping it away from those right-hand batters. Got that one in that time. 1-2. John Ryan hitless in his last 5 starts. He had a tough July, 4 for 42. And the at-bats have dried up just a little bit. Swing and a miss. Another sinker away. Away, in, back outside, and Holland gets his second strikeout. Always hear that from everybody. Well, he's got to throw his fastball to both sides of the plate. Holland just did it right there.
He did. And as a hitter, if a guy throws a sinker on the inside corner where it has to back you off the plate a little bit and then it tails back to the corner, and then you throw another one on the outside corner tailing away, it looks like 2 different pitches because of the location and the movement.
Robbie Ray. Yeah, Holland has not had a whole lot of results, but he has been putting up some solid strikeout numbers as of late. 57 strikeouts in just under 46 innings in his last 11 appearances. 7 of those have been starts. Got that sinker up and in. It's 1-2. One of Holland's issues this year has been run support. He's kind of been that guy. Giants have given him 2 runs or fewer in 12 of his 20 starts. So he's been walking a fine line. Sinker away, misses. It's 2-2. Peralta, the leadoff man, on deck. And Robbie waves at a slider. 3 strikeouts for Derek Holland.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
The freight train in the leadoff spot. He struck out to lead it off for the Diamondbacks. Didn't appear that he was picking up the ball well coming out of Holland's hand. We'll see how David does this time. Bases empty, 2 down. That slider sneaks through the front door. 0-1. It's just not picking it up. 0-2. David this year about .225 against lefties. 4 home runs versus left-handers. Pokes it to third for Longoria. Holland has set down 6 in a row. We're tied at 1. 1-1 in the fourth. That's it right there.
That's the one.
Fans today, the premier Mexican soccer team, Xolos de Tijuana, returns to Fox Sports Arizona to take on Club Leon. Live soccer is back today, 6 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Arizona. That's great, isn't it? Chase Darno leads off the fourth inning against Robbie Ray. D-backs and Giants tied at 1. Did you happen to see what just happened in Milwaukee?
I heard.
The Rockies bullpen has imploded again. Up 4-1 in the ninth. Adam Ottavino brought on to close after Wade Davis blew a couple of saves the last few days. And the Brewers got 3 in the ninth. They've gone to the 10th. Dodgers have now taken a 3-1 lead over the Astros in LA. They're in the third. There was a catcher's interference. There was a dropped third strike. There was a wild pitch. It was a fiasco for the Rocky bullpen.
In a good way.
Just a crazy mess after Wade Davis served up a walk-off homer to Eric Thames the other day. Darno gets under it near the D-back dugout and out of play. What do you got on Michael Brenly's Red Sox? They have David Price on the mound. The night game tonight, a chance to sweep 4 from the Yankees, and that might bury the Pinstripes.
Yeah, the Red Sox are 8.5 games up on the Yankees going into the game tonight. So yeah, victory by the Red Sox would make it 9.5.
Wow, they are rolling right now. Tanaka on the mound at Fenway against David Price. 1-2 to Chase Darno.
Dustin Pedroia on the disabled list. They go get Ian Kinsler. He's on the disabled list with a hamstring injury. So they move Mookie Betts from right field into second base, which was his original position.
You know, a few years ago, Mookie came up and played in the Fall League. He was playing second base every game. That's where I first saw Mookie Betts, was right here in the Arizona Fall League as a second baseman. Now he's an MVP candidate outfielder. Fastball misses away. 2-2. Phillies won again today. 5-3. They beat Miami. Philadelphia comes in tomorrow night for the first of 3. Close out this homestand. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. So quick on that release and a perfect throw. He has it. And in the blink of an eye, he's already thrown the baseball. It's amazing.
He's got such a great knowledge of opposing hitters. Who gets down the line quickly? Who stumbles out of the batter's box? When do I need to rush my throw? When do I have a little bit more time? It all goes into that computer, and when he picks up the ball, he knows exactly what he has to do to get the out.
Center fielder Gorkys Hernandez. Yeah, so I was saying before, or as Steven Souza was homering, we've got Josh Kellman has lined up some cup of coffee shoots coming up this week. We're going to sit down with Steven Souza Jr. and with Nick Ahmed. So look for 2 cup of coffee episodes back this year coming up over the next month or so.
I want to do decaf with Steven Souza Jr.
What makes you say that?
He's a high motor guy as it is.
He sure is. He's got a home run. The D-backs only run so far. His 3rd of the year. Always get great receptions from D-backs fans about a cup of coffee. It's been on the shelf for a while now, but it's coming back.
I think fans always like to find out a little bit more about their favorite players. You know, It's one thing to read the stories in the newspaper and check the box score and all that stuff, but you actually get to sit down and learn something about the players away from the field.
Well, Robbie starting to kick some sand in some guys' faces with that fastball. That's what we were talking about earlier when Slater struck out with the bases loaded to end the 3rd.
Well, really, he's only made one mistake with a fastball, if you will. The 0-2 pitch to Chase Darno back in that 2nd inning that he lined into center field for a base hit. Otherwise, that fastball has been overpowering the Giants hitters.
That's the Robbie Ray we saw last year during his All-Star season. He struck out Hansen his first time up. Good curveball. Good hard curveball. Robbie, since he came off the DL, has not really been throwing his curveball as often as he did when he was at his best last year. There's the fastball for a strike. And he needs that curveball, otherwise he's a two-pitch guy, fastball slider. And when he's a two-pitch guy, that fastball tends to get hit. So far 5 strikeouts, 3 of those strikeouts on 3 pitches, 1 on 4 pitches. So he has shown the ability here today to kind of put guys away and quickly. 70 pitches, 47 for strikes so far. Hanson able to check on that breaking ball. 2-2. Derek Holland, the pitcher, would be next. Oh, beauty. Fastball down and into the righty. 6 strikeouts for Robbie Ray. D-backs and Giants tied at 1.
Field. Time to take a look back in baseball history. Brought to you by Geico. On this day in 1993, Tony Gwynn went 6 for 7 in a 12-inning game against the Giants. Padres won that ball game 11-10. It was the 4th time this season that Tony Gwynn had 5 or more hits in a game, tying an all-time record, or sharing an all-time record with Ty Cobb and Stan Musial. Wow. Seemed like he got 6 hits every game we played against him.
Well, Andrew McCutchen was the man last night. He was 5 for 5 for the Giants. Eduardo Escobar leads off the 4th against Derek Holland. Holland has retired the last 6 batters he's faced. Escobar walked his first time up. Word from Los Angeles, George Springer has had to leave the ball game for the Astros with some kind of hand or finger injury, maybe a thumb. So that's bad news for Houston, already without Correa and Altuve. Escobar has hit safely in 5 of 6 games since he became a Diamondback. 8 hits, 4 runs batted in with the D-backs, acquired from the Minnesota Twins. Goldie on deck. Uh-oh.
Heads up.
All right, Mick. We got a thumbs up for Mick. Check swing, and he punches it down the line fair. McCutchen picks it up, and Escobar is in at second. Just like he drew it up.
Well, that makes up for line drives that were caught earlier this season. Half check swing, shoots it right down that first baseline, and he can smell a double. He busts it out of that batter's box. He knows he's going to get two. If McCutchen mishandles it at all, he might end up at third base.
"39 doubles. Here's Goldie, who hit into a double play to end the first.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. The Giants have turned more double plays than anybody else. It's kind of a backhanded compliment. You turn a lot of double plays, that means you've got a lot of runners on base.
Well, they've got some pretty good defenders, some Gold Gloves up the middle with Panik and Crawford, both those guys not playing today. Darno trying to sneak in at second behind Escobar. Fastball up and in, 2-0 to Goldie. Souza's on deck. Souza's home run is third of the year. The D-backs run so far. Giants got theirs on an Evan Longoria RBI single in the third. Ooh, curveball down and away. Gabe Morales. He's given Robbie Ray that pitch a few times here today. There's no way Goldie is going to swing at that on 2-0. Sinker's in, 3 balls and a strike. Holland so far has walked 1. He struck out 3. Got that slider in there. Full count, 3-2. See that patch on Holland's sleeve there. Giants this year celebrating 60 years since the move from the Polo Grounds. Diamondbacks yesterday had their big 20th anniversary celebration. And Goldie works a walk. Second and third, no outs. Or first and second, pardon me. Second walk issued by Holland. That brings up Souza. Here was Souza to lead off the second, his third of the year.
Got to a slider down and in and golfed it out of here to left field. No doubt about that one.
Nice easy swing. Souza, of course, doubled and tripled last night, drove in 3. He's got a home run so far today. Now up to 250 on the year. Escobar at second and Goldie at first. Nobody out. Steven Souza Jr. since the middle of last month, right at the All-Star break, basically, with runners in scoring position, is hitting .381. He has been that middle of the order run producing bat that they traded for. One and one. Holland buries that sinker down in there. A ball and 2 strikes. Ketel Marte on deck.
And we just showed you the home run that Steven Souza Jr. hit leading off the 2nd inning. Came on a slider down and in. He's seen nothing but fastballs in this at bat. This will probably be a fastball up right here. That's the only pitch you would call for high in the strike zone.
Hits it out to center for Hernandez. One out for Ketel Marte.
Yeah, catchers don't ask for change-ups up in the zone or breaking balls up in the zone. If you see that catcher rise up out of his crouch and give a high target, it's 99% of the time going to be a fastball.
Marte popped up in his first at bat today. As Bob mentioned, 5 hits in the series. That long home run last night, 465 feet. Among the top 10 longest in the majors this year. And that came as a right-hand batter.
And we probably shouldn't be surprised. We saw him hit that home run at Dodger Stadium last year that nearly left the stadium. Just missed the overhang in left field.
About 4 rows from the back of the bleachers there. Left center in LA. Marte now with 10 homers and 10 triples. So he's just the 4th player in D-backs history now with at least 10 triples and home runs in the same season. Steve Finley, Stephen Drew, David Peralta, the other 3. Bounced and throw. It's by Darno. Here comes Escobar. Goldie heads for 3rd, and it's 2-1 Diamondbacks.
Two-seamer that catches too much of the plate that time, right in the middle of the zone. That inside-out swing gets it past a diving Chase Darno for an RBI base hit for Marte.
Tell you what, Bob, when you get Marte going like he's going, you get Ahmed hot like he's hot. This is a pretty thick lineup.
Yeah, really thick lineup.
Speaking of Nick, here he is. Ahmed flying out to right his first time on a 3-2 pitch. Nick last night had an RBI single, walked, and then homered twice. Not a bad night at the plate for him. First pitch curveball from Holland. Nick way out in front, 0-1. And Nick has always known he had it in there to be this type of productive hitter. It's just taken him a little longer than some other guys to pull it out of there. He's got Goldie at 3rd, Marte at 1st, 1 out, a run is in. There's that sinker in, 0-2. Nick has always been a guy who's toyed with his swing, constantly sort of focused almost overly so on mechanics, but this year he's a little more athletic up there. And he's getting more consistent, solid contact.
Yeah, and we've seen that on some of that consistent, solid contact on pitches down in the zone. He kind of gets spread out in that batter's box, but uses his athleticism to get the bat on the ball and drive it.
Got that sinker up and in again, and Holland gets the strikeout. That's his 4th. 2 down now for John Jay.
Quick at bat that time for Nick. Let's take a look at it. First pitch curveball, swings at it. And then a couple of sinkers up in the zone. 90 and then 93 right at the very top of the zone. Our nationwide vision eye on the game.
2 on, 2 out for Jay, who grounded out his first time, and they're at center field today. A.J. Pollock has the day off. Those days off are going to go away pretty soon. You figure about the middle of August or so. It'll be all hands on deck every day in the middle of a pennant race. Torey Lovullo's ball club all alone atop the NL West, 1 game ahead of the Dodgers. LA right now leads the Astros 3-1. They're in the 4th inning at Dodger Stadium. Rockies extra innings right now tied up 4-4 at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Late time granted by Gabe Morales. And the reason you rest all these guys, and I know it drives some D-back fans crazy, you get all these scheduled off days over the course of the first 4 months or so. The reason you do that is because you know it's going to have to be pedal to the metal the final 6 weeks of the season. And you want those guys rested and ready for that stretch drive. And usually it pays off. Certainly did last year. They won 93 games. This is bounced to first. Posey's got it. Holland's over there. And the Diamondbacks strand two, but they get one, take a 2-1 lead. And the Astros all-star outfielder seriously, it appears, injures his thumb sliding headfirst into the bag. Watch it get caught right here. Taylor applies the tag. Look at the thumb right there. Ooh. So that could be a serious injury for Houston. Right now they trail the Dodgers 3-1, fourth inning in LA. Rockies and Brewers have gone to the 11th in Milwaukee, tied at 4. Here's Derek Holland to lead off the Giant fifth against Robbie Ray. Robbie has retired the last 4 he's faced. He's got 6 strikeouts. And he's ahead of Holland 0-2. .75 pitches for Robbie Ray, 50 strikes. He's walked 3 to go along with those 6 strikeouts. Holland stays alive. Seven punch outs for Robbie, 1 down in the 5th.
The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
Bob, your Valley Honda dealer's key to the game has been spot on. The top 3 in the Giants order, McCutchen, Posey, Longoria, have done almost all the damage. The rest of the guys, all they've done pretty much is strike out.
That's a little bit of the reverse of what a pitcher normally experiences. You talk about a breather inning, and usually that's 7, 8, 9, bottom of the order. If you can figure out a way to get through those first 6 hitters, you have a little bit of a breather inning against the bottom of the order. Well, it's not so much the case today. It's just the first 3 hitters you really have to keep an eye on. After that, you should be able to get the rest of this Giants lineup if you make your pitches.
Well, McCutchen has reached base safely in each of his last 7 plate appearances. He was 5 for 5 last night. He has walked, singled, and scored so far today, and he's ahead 2-0. D-backs have 3 infielders on the third base side. There's a fastball for a strike, 2-1. McCutchen can still hit a fastball, certainly. He is batting over .350 against fastballs this year. That's among the best of the major leagues. But he has struggled against breaking balls and off-speed pitches. There's a fastball up, and it's 3-1. Posey on deck. He's at first base today. That fastball sailed on Robbie, and that's his 4th base on balls. The walks for Robbie have become an issue this year. The walk rate is way up from last year.
First baseman, Buster Posey.
Posey has singled and walked so far. Robbie this season averaging 4.5 walks for every 9 innings pitched. That's by far a career high for him. And now McCutchen has reached base safely in 8 consecutive plate appearances. That's the 2nd longest such streak of his career. He reached base safely in 10 straight appearances last season. Posey hits a fly ball toward the right field foul pole. And foul.
It was a little closer than I thought it was going to be. Usually a ball off the bat of a right-hander hit down the right field line will have a lot of slice on it and end up in foul territory, but that one stayed a little too close to the foul pole that time.
Posey in his last 15 games is hitting .365. He's been red hot. He's got 5 hits in the series. He's walked twice, and that's even without playing in the game last night. Another fastball, 1-2. A home run that would have been noteworthy, certainly, for Buster Posey. He's only got 5 home runs all year, and has now gone 31 games without hitting a homer. That's June 19th, his last home run. This is August 5th. Fastball a little low for Gabe Morales. That was below the knees. 2-2. Longoria has knocked in the Giants' only run so far. He's on deck. Remember, this is how trouble started for Robbie Ray in that 3rd inning. He struck out Hansen and Holland, the 8 and 9 batters, on 6 pitches. But then McCutchen singled, Posey walked, Longoria had an RBI single, Hundley walked, and Slater struck out with the bases full. Fastball's in, and now it's a full count on Posey. 3-2. Rockies have taken a lead at Milwaukee 5-4 now, bottom 11th at Miller Park. Dodgers still lead Houston 3-1. They're in the 5th. McCutchen takes off on the 3-2. A fastball up and Posey fouls it off.
Nolan Arenado with a home run in that Rockies-Brewers game to give the Rockies a 5-4 lead.
Astros have gotten a run back. It's now 3-2 Dodgers. Well, I can't imagine how much money it's going to cost Colorado to keep Nolan Arenado in Denver. He'll be a free agent after next season. However much it is, he's going to be worth it. 3-2 to Buster. McCutchen on the move. There's a fastball for a strike. And there's the strike him out, throw him out. John Ryan Murphy gets McCutchen at second. Diamondbacks lead the Giants 2-1.
Ryan Murphy will lead it off for the Diamondbacks. Nice strike him out, throw him out, double play to end that last inning. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. Buster Posey takes a called strike 3. John Ryan Murphy fires one down there in plenty of time to get Andrew McCutchen, who tries a trick slide to get onto the bag.
And John Ryan will lead off the D-back 5th against Eric Holland. Now 8 strikeouts for Robbie Ray. John Ryan first pitch swinging, pops it up. Buster Posey. Here's Robbie Ray. Derek Holland winless in 3 starts this year against the D-backs. He's lasted a total of less than 14 innings in those 3 starts. D-backs last saw him July 1st here at Chase Field. And Holland lasted only 3 2/3. He walked 4 in that start. A month earlier, June 4th in San Francisco, he made it through only 4 innings. But was very effective way back on April 9th at AT&T Park. 2 runs, 2 hits. He struck out 8.
Watch this foul ball come back up and Robbie Ray on the back of that left arm. Obviously, that's his throwing arm. He's been shaking it out before getting back into the batter's box. Hopefully, no damage done there.
Lays off that sinker away. David Peralta on deck. Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Holland. 2 down in the 5th.
MLB.TV is now available at a lower price. For $82.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer.
David has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. He has not had great at bats against Holland.
A lot of baseball left here in this game, but this is the kind of game, if you're Torey Lovullo, maybe you make a note at the bottom of your scorecard. David doesn't look real good against Derek Holland. Now, it may be today. But next time you face Derek Holland, might see somebody else playing left field.
Hey, it just sort of seems late on some of these fastballs like that there. Just not quite picking up the breaking ball coming out. He's had some awkward swings against him. And that happens, right? Some guys just don't see guys.
You just don't pick up the spin on the ball. You can't find that release point quickly enough. You swing at the bad ones, take the good ones.
And he's up there trying to defend himself. He's hacking away, but it's just kind of fouling off pitches at best. There's Dave Magadan, the hitting coach. Spits on the slider, and he's back even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Holland probably thought he'd get Peralta to chase that pitch. And David lays off that fastball up, and now he's worked it full 3-2. So certainly a much better at bat right here. Escobar on deck.
Every hitter has a pitcher or 2 or more that you really struggle against. I had a few, but there was specifically one guy that pitched for the Padres named Luis De Leon, a right-handed reliever. Faced him 6 times, struck out 4, and I don't remember making contact the other 2 times. I just couldn't see the ball out of his hand. I was flailing at everything that came up there. Couldn't figure him out.
Got caught looking at that sinker. 6 strikeouts for Holland, but the D-backs lead the Giants 2-1. Chase Field. Fans, don't forget, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Hello, sir. A tremendous display here this year at the ballpark, celebrating 20 years of D-backs baseball. What a day it was here yesterday. The alumni game, the introduction to the all-time 20th anniversary team, a big win over the Giants, a tremendous day at the ballpark yesterday. Big crowds here all day long. And again, congratulations to everybody involved in putting on that event. And that's really what it was, an event. Almost a year in the making. Everybody here, game ops did a tremendous job. It was a big success. Longoria leads off the sixth. He has the Giants RBI, a single in the third against Robbie Ray.
Well, we talked about Robbie and that slider today. It's really been inconsistent. He's thrown 16 of them, only 6 for strikes, and has yet to record a swing and a miss on that pitch.
Longoria barrels one up. Peralta won't get there. It's off the wall. Longoria not running all that well out of the box. This will be close. And he's in with a double. Well, he's had a big series. That's now 7 hits.
It's an elevated fastball. You could see John Ryan Murphy reaching up and out over the plate. He wanted that fastball in, but gets it out over the plate where Longoria is able to barrel it to that gap in left center. Nice play by David to make it at least close at second base.
So Longoria 2 for 3. Here's the catcher Nick Hundley. Conference time at the mound. You were mentioning that slider, Bob. It's another case of every day with Robbie. It's the one thing that's just not quite functioning like we normally see, and it's something different every time, it seems.
I mean, because his fastball's been very good today. Before this inning started, he had thrown 50 fastballs, 38 of them for strikes. That's 76%. His season fastball percentage is only 65, so the fastball has been very effective today, but the slider has not been effective at all.
And curveballs worked for the most part pretty well. He's got some strikes with it. Well, you mentioned the top of the order, 3 and out. Your Valley Honda dealers key to the game. Giants 1 through 4 hitters have been on base 8 times in 11 plate appearances so far. All the outs have come from the 5 through 9 batters for Bruce Bochy.
The good news is there are some outs to be had 5 through 9, but you don't want to constantly be pitching with traffic on the bases. Everybody with a bat in their hands can be dangerous.
Hundley still hitless in this series, 0 for 6. He has walked twice. Bullpen will get busy for the Diamondbacks. Right-hander Yoshihisa Hirano starts to warm up. Sanderson Ford bullpen. There's Kelvin Kondo, the translator, with bullpen coach Mike Feathers. Robbie approaching 95 pitches. And Hundley belts one into left. This will get Longoria home. Peralta able to cut it off. Hundley digging for second, and he is out of there. But the Giants have tied it at 2. Good job by David, who really hustled over there to get to it before it reached that bullpen fence.
Yeah, that's a great hustling play by David Peralta. Goes into that slide to stop his momentum and then shows off that arm, airmailing it all the way back into the infield. Nice tag by Ketel Marte at the other end of that play.
And no challenge from the Giants. So it goes as an RBI single for Hundley. 9-4 on the putout. Here's Austin Slater, who has struck out twice. Well, they couldn't get Slater out for most of the season, but he has struck out in his last 5 at bats suddenly. So they have figured out how to pitch to this guy. Slider. Oh no. The Dark Knight. Tom Harvey. He got out there quickly. Good read on the carom. Just not able to finish.
He made half a good play. Got into good position. Pounced off that stool and then just lets it get underneath.
That's Tom Harvey, the Dark Knight, our Golden Glover in left field. Skip Miller working right here today. 0-2 on Slater. Oh, come on, Gabe Morales. That's right there. He had him rung up. Robbie has struck out 8. He's walked 4. We saw John Ryan Murphy motion, keep that breaking ball down, and Robbie threw it into the dirt. Now it's 2-2. Pitch number 100 coming up. Hirano getting loose in the bullpen. Fights off a fastball. The bottom 5 hitters in the Giants order have combined for just 1 hit. That was a Chase d'Arnaud single. They've also combined for 7 strikeouts. The 1 through 4 batters have been the issue. 100 pitches, 64 for strikes. And Slater bangs one into center. So 3 hits open up the Giants' 6th. And Torrey going up to the top step. And he'll make the move, so Robbie will remain winless since June 27th. He'll leave in the 6th inning, tied at 2. Responsible for the runners, Slater at first. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks is the right-hander Yoshihisa Hirano, on to face Chase d'Arnaud. Actually, d'Arnaud will be recalled now as Torey Lovullo goes to the right-hander. Suddenly Joe Panik comes out into the on-deck circle. Left-hand batter will hit for d'Arnaud and take over at second base. So our first look today at Joe Panik, hitting .234 with 4 home runs. Panik doubled last night, his only hit in the series. Giants have a run in, 1 out. Slater, the runner at first. Final in Milwaukee. Colorado beats the Brewers 5-4, so the Rockies have won. Dodgers lead Houston 3-2. They're in the 6th in LA. Panik hits a squib shot to first. Goldie's got it. Slater moves up 2 outs. Gorky's Hernandez now. Hernandez 0 for 2. Fastball fouled away. We saw Yoshi Hirano Friday night against the Giants. Diamondbacks won that one 6-3. Yoshi pitched the 7th, got 3 outs on 15 pitches. A splitter in the dirt away from Murphy, caught in the screen, and Slater gets third. So right away, Bob, John Ryan signals to Gabe Morales once the ball gets stuck back there. Hands up like a ball is lost in the ivy at Wrigley Field.
Considered to be out of play when it gets stuck in the backstop, or as you mentioned, in the ivy at Wrigley. Yeah, you just really shouldn't even try to dig it out. Just raise your hands, point it out to the umpire, let him make the call. John Ryan reached in there. Occasionally, especially at Wrigley, you reach in for that ball in the ivy and it starts to trickle down and you can't find it again, and now it's a live ball.
Yeah, that's an interesting rule. Once the outfielder at Chicago reaches in, it's you play on, you've missed your chance to sort of give up. And that's a critical call there by John Ryan, with Slater heading into third. Don't want to get caught up with the screen back there, so a heads up play by the D-back catcher.
I think I've talked about it before. The years I worked in Chicago, a couple of different times I saw a ball go into the ivy, the outfielder reached in, and 2 balls fell out.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
You know, some of the home run balls during batting practice that get hit in the ivy and kind of trickle around, get caught in the vine somewhere, and then a ball hit during the game goes in the same location. You end up with 2 balls falling out of the ivy.
Cubbies got clobbered at home today by the Padres. San Diego won at Wrigley Field 10-6. John Lester was not sharp. I don't know about that Cubs rotation in a postseason series. I'm not all in on that. I think they could have some issues. Alan Hansen has struck out twice. He's on deck. 2-2 on Gorky's Hernandez. Slater down there at third, the go-ahead run.
He'd really like to end this inning right here with Gorky's Hernandez. We talked about Hansen striking out his first 2 at-bats against Robbie Ray. That was from the right side of the plate, however. Hansen a much better hitter as a left-hander.
No, we didn't, Tony Randazzo, and now it's a full count, 3-2.
Splitter down low and away. Hernandez, he's able to check that time.
Slater down there at third, 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Another splitter.
And just a bad location that time on the 3-2 splitter. Inside part of the plate up a little bit. Fortunately, Hernandez just pulled it foul down that third base line. He's going to try to hit that outside corner with a fastball.
Murphy hops out there, and Hirano gets the call from Gabe Morales. Hernandez not happy, and he's got a case. But the Giants tied at 2. And it's 2-2 as we start the bottom of the 6th. Tomorrow night we start a 3-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Jake Arrieta will be on the mound for the Phillies here tomorrow. Zach Godley, Zach Greinke, Patrick Corbin go for the Diamondbacks. That Wednesday game, by the way, is a matinee 12:40 start. All 3 games for you right here on Fox Sports Arizona. So back-to-back Zachs Monday and Tuesday. Eduardo Escobar leads off the 6th against Eric Holland. Diamondbacks still have only 3 hits. Escobar has one of them. He doubled the lead off the 4th and scored on Ketel Marte's RBI single. Holland has walked 2. He struck out 6 and retired the last 5 he's faced. Bullpen will be busy from here on out. Andrew Chafin, the left-hander, starts to get loose. Holland picking away down at that corner. 2 balls and a strike. Escobar got a hanging curveball, can't keep it fair. Escobar is a switch hitter. Left hand side is his power side. That's where he's got 13 of his 15 homers. Well, Holland has been very efficient here. Goldie on deck. 80 pitches, 53 strikes. Slider almost hit Escobar. Now it's a full count, 3-2. Goldie will be next. Punches at a sinker up. Ninth pitch coming up. Escobar has walked, doubled, and scored today.
Escobar has such a determined look on his face when he's in the batter's box. He is all business. Some hitters like to get in the box and clown around with the catcher and give their greetings to the home plate umpire and turn around and talk to the guy in the on deck circle. This guy is focused on one thing.
He's a very impressive player. All aspects of the game. Really putting up a fight here. The leadoff batter has been a bit of a bump for Holland today. Souza homered to lead off the second. Escobar doubled to start the fourth. Look at Holland. He's kind of rolling his eyes back there. What do I got to throw to get this guy? I always think of Pedro Martinez, who said pitchers hate to throw pitches.
They do.
12th pitch of the at bat right here. And Holland gets the lazy fly to right center.
Well, it results in a fly ball to right field, but the effect of a 12 pitch at bat to start the inning at this point in the ball game, it may pay dividends to the guys hitting behind Escobar. It may have. Bruce Bochy's going to pull the plug. He's thinking the same thing.
Holland's out there giggling with Buster Posey. He pitched a pretty good ball game here today. Leads tied 2-2 in the sixth. Derek Holland's day comes to an end with 1 out in the sixth inning, tied at 2. Calling all Wildcats. D-backs U of A night, September 6th. And you can get this custom D-backs U of A cap and a discounted baseline reserve ticket for only $25 with our special event ticket pack. Visit dbacks.com/Wildcats. Now I know you have some ASU ties. So you cannot model the U of A cap. I'll be the guinea pig here. This is a great hat with the D-backs logo and the U of A logo on the side here. In U of A colors, the blue and the red. So that's coming up here at Chase Field September 6th. There's also an ASU night. Hopefully we can get you to model that cap. I understand your allegiance. The curtain of distraction is in the house, at least one of them. more of like a curtain rod. That's a banana eating a pizza if you're scoring at home. Potassium, very important. Reyes Maranta, the new Giants pitcher. We've seen him earlier in this series. He's been impressive this year. A 1.81 ERA, his 53rd appearance. Maranta faced 2 batters, got 2 strikeouts in the game here Friday night. We mentioned long at bats and what that can do to pitchers. Hirano had that 9-pitch at bat against Gorkys Hernandez that ended the top of the 6th inning. Escobar a 12-pitch at bat against Holland that ended Holland's day here today. And now Goldie's worked this one full 3-2. Souza, who homered in the 2nd, is on deck. Able to lay off that slider. Maranta wanted him to bite on it. Goldie walks for the 2nd time today.
That was actually a perfect pitcher's pitch right there to a dangerous hitter. You don't want to leave that slider over the plate where it might get whacked. Maranta tried to lead Goldie out of the zone. He refused to bite.
Souza has homered and lined out to center. Diamondbacks still with only 3 base hits in the ball game. Rushes Souza back at 96. Heartbeat's a little much right now. Just running in on the right-hander.
How'd that miss his uniform right there?
Yeah. Fly ball, center field. Hernandez over near the pool. Well, even Souza's outs are loud these days. Ketel Marte with one of the 3 Diamondback hits. An RBI single in the 4th after Escobar had doubled. That made it 2-1 D-backs. Giants have since tied it at 2. Bullpen's really busy. Bradley, the right-hander, chafing the lefty. Marte now spins around and bats from the left-hand side after popping up and singling versus Derek Holland. Fastball at 97. It's 1-1. Ketel Marte, as always, very well attired. Everything's coordinated. Boy, that's a good fastball right there, down and away, 1-2.
Yeah, I don't think they give awards at the end of the season for the most fashionable player, but if they did, Ketel Marte would be very high on the list.
All about the swag. He's a very fashion forward player. Goldie takes off. Here's the throw from Hundley. It's high and Goldie's in there. His 4th stolen base of the year.
We mentioned it before, the Diamondbacks haven't run nearly as much this year as we thought they might, but this is a great time to try it. 2 outs in the inning. If you can get yourself into scoring position, you can come home from there on a base hit.
You know, we showed you earlier in the ball game George Springer of the Astros in LA sliding headfirst into second trying to steal a base and looked like he broke his thumb. He's definitely injured and will be out for a while, but just Goldie textbook right there. No nonsense. Marte pops it up, shallow left center. Hansen drifts out there, and we'll head to the 7th. D-backs and Giants all leave it at 2.
Couple of splitters, then another fastball, and then 4 splitters in a row right here. Some in the strike zone, some out of the strike zone. Couple of foul balls by Hernandez. After he slows down his bat with all those off-speed pitches, he dots a fastball just off the outside corner and gets the call from Gabe Morales behind the plate. Our nationwide vision, eye on the game. Nice job that time by Hirano.
And Morales has consistently called those pitches outside to right-handers strikes all afternoon. Andrew Chafin, the left-hander, is on for the D-back bullpen, so that'll flip Alan Hansen to the right side. Pitcher spot up next, Hunter Pence in the on-deck circle. Then it's Andrew McCutchen. Hansen struck out twice against Robbie Ray. And the at-bats were not pretty. Kind of looked like that last swing. And so I'm guessing Torrey, obviously seeing that, brings in the lefty Chafin to face Hansen to start the inning. He's got Archie Bradley, the right-hander, warming up at the bullpen right now with Pence on deck. And there's the universal sign that he's ready. Mike Fetter's waving the cap. Pence on deck, set to hit for the pitcher Moranta. Meantime, in the Giant bullpen, things are getting busy again down there. Here's the right-hander Ray Black, who we saw earlier in the series with that triple-digit fastball. He has got some serious heat. Hansen hits it to Marte, bobbles it at second, recovers, and throws it out.
Good range to his left. The ball hits up off the heel of the glove, but when you cushion everything back into your body, you're able to make the play like Marte does. Even with the bobble, still has time to get the speedy Hansen at first base.
So Hunter Pence is announced. as the pinch hitter. Mike Butcher will run out there. Bradley is ready in the bullpen if you want to bring in the right-hander. And you've got a whole bunch of right-hand hitters coming up as well in McCutchen and Posey, Longoria, Hundley, Slater. It's a right-hand heavy Giant lineup. But no move as of yet for Archie Bradley. Archie worked in the ball game Friday through 1 inning 10 pitches. Struck out Hundley, got Longoria and Crawford to ground out. Looks like for the moment they'll stick with Andrew Chafin. So Pence hits for the pitcher. 221 and 1 home run. Fastball is low. Pence has a single and an RBI in the series, 1 for 5. I think maybe one reason, Bob, just a guess of course, why they're sticking with Chafin here is for whatever odd reason Hunter Pence is not hitting lefties at all this year. He is 9 for 59 against left-hand pitchers. That's a 153 batting average versus lefties.
Hensley Mullen sitting there at the right hand of Bruce Bochy. One of the great nicknames in all of baseball. Bam Bam.
Bounced a slider in the dirt. So I'm guessing that he was not known as a contact hitter. That one off Gabe Morales back there.
I'm not sure why he got the nickname, but I just know it's a good one. Bam Bam.
There's the tapper in the hole. Escobar in front of Ahmed. 2 outs. So Chafin faces 2 men, gets 2 ground balls. Here comes McCutchen, who has reached base safely now in 8 straight plate appearances, and Torey Lovullo has decided it's time to bring in the beard. Base is empty in the 7th. 2 outs in a 2-2 ball game. And Archie Bradley's on his way in. Back after this. Seventh inning on to face Andrew McCutchen. Archie's 54th appearance, an ERA this year just under 3. He worked in the ball game, as we mentioned, Friday. Did not face McCutchen in that game. McCutchen has reached safely in 8 consecutive plate appearances, 5 for 5 last night. Today a single, and he's walked twice. Fastball, strike 1. Shift is on against McCutchen. Got another fastball in, and Archie's ahead right away, 0-2. Come on, Gabe, there it is. Ring him up and sit him down. They bring in the beard. We stretch in a 2-2 ball game.
They made quick work of the best hitter in this Giants lineup in this series. Called strike one to Andrew McCutchen, fouls off strike two, and then dots that outside corner at 97. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Our nationwide vision eye on the game.
They bring in the hammer, and Archie gets the final out of the 7th inning. Diamondbacks have been out hit today by the Giants 7-3, but we're tied at 2 as we start the home half here at Chase Field. D-backs trying to take 3 or 4 in this series, but they've got their work cut out for them right now. Here is Ray Black, the right-hander, and this guy's got some serious heat. The fastball sits right around 100 miles an hour. We saw him earlier in the series, and it was pretty impressive.
This is the guy we talked about when we saw him earlier in this series. Tommy John surgery coming out of high school. Before he could throw a pitch as a professional, he had frayed labrum, had to have surgery on that. Coming back from that, he was pitching here in the instructional league for the Giants, sharing a room with 5 other guys. Somebody broke into their place, and Ray Block clocked the guy, broke his hand. He's had all kinds of injury issues, but when healthy, he can rush it up there.
He has held the opposition scoreless in his last 9 appearances, 9 1/3 consecutive hitless innings. And he'll face Nick Ahmed, John Jay, John Ryan Murphy, scheduled up in the Diamondbacks 7th. Nick so far 0 for 2.
1 hit in 9 2/3 innings pitched, but he has surrendered 3 runs. He's given up a home run and 5 walks.
Well, Ahmed has flied out, struck out. Ray Black, a big dude, 6'5", 225. He's a Pitt Panther. 7th round pick by the Giants back in 2011. Here's Nick, who homered twice last night. He's got 4 hits in the series. Right away, 98. Black worked a 1-2-3 7th in the series opener Thursday. Struck out Goldie, struck out AJ, got Souza to pop up. 3 outs on 14 pitches. Deep fly to center. Hernandez under the home run porch.
We heard Kurt Schilling talk about it in the ball game yesterday when he joined us in the booth. He tried to pitch to the big part of the ballpark. 407 to straightaway center here at Chase Field. 413 just to the right and left of straightaway center. If any pitcher can get guys to hit the ball out in that location, you're probably going to have pretty good results.
And he said he knew he had Steve Finley back there,
yeah.
so that was where he wanted the ball to go. Look who's got a helmet on in the dugout, bat in hand. It's Archie Bradley, who, if his spot comes up, apparently will hit for himself. Jay is the hitter. Murphy's on deck. Then it's the pitcher spot. John Jay 0 for 2. Can check on that 99-mile-an-hour fastball just below the knees. It's 1-1. The last time Archie Bradley hit, by the way, you may recall it was the wild card game, and I believe, I'm not sure because he never talks about it, I think he hit a triple.
The emphasis on wild.
I'm going to have to look that up. That was the great line from Jake Lamb, his roommate, when Archie had a bobblehead earlier this year commemorating that triple, and Jake said, did he hit a triple in that game? He never mentions it. Jake Lamb is a funny dude. One and two on John Jay. Murphy on deck. John Jay 13 hits in his last 10 games. He's been hot. A couple of hits at his start in right field Friday in the win over the Giants here. Bounce to first. Posey's got it. Black is over there. 2 down. Archie Bradley does indeed come out in the on deck circle as John Ryan Murphy steps into the batter's box. So it looks like Archie's going to get the 8th inning. Posey, Longoria, Hundley will be due up for the Giants. John Ryan today 0 for 2. There's a rare slider from Black. Now Brad Ziegler will start to get loose, throwing overhand in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. We saw Brad get a couple of ground ball outs last night. 2 outs on 6 pitches. We talk about a kid with a new toy. That's got to be fun for Toy Lavelle. Just get Ziggy cranked up down there in case somebody gets on base. Inquired at the trade deadline from Miami. He and Jake Diekman both worked in the game last night. Look out. Tried the corner and missed. 99.
You know, in an odd way, that tells you how hard it is to hit in the major leagues. Nick Hundley knew a fastball was coming. Now, it was a good foot off the outside corner, but he could not react quickly enough to get a glove on that ball. How are you supposed to swing a bat and hit it?
Chased a high one at 98. It's 2-2. John Ryan trying to get his offensive game back on track. Since the end of May, he's hitting 172. Archie hoping to get a chance. You know he wants to get an AB. Murphy pops it up behind second. Panic calling for it. So we stay tied 2-2 as we head to the eighth at Chase Field. September 8th. First 20,000 fans. The D-backs and Braves game. Get this awesome bobble. This is the Ketel Marte Luchador bobblehead. This is a must-have. It's courtesy of Pepsi. Add this one to the collection. dbacks.com for your tickets coming up September 8th. The Ketel Marte Luchador bobblehead. That is a really cool bobble. Better than Jake Lamb with the lamb.
Yeah. Well, they even got the tattoos on Ketel Marte on that bobblehead. Huh?
You have to pay very special attention to how the bobblehead is adorned. Here's Jake. Shoulder surgery coming up. Lost for the season. Hopes to be back next year. Archie Bradley back out there. Buster Posey, who has singled, walked, and struck out, leads it off for the Giants. Well, Buster taking a hack at a fastball way down and in there. 0-1. Buster Posey with 15 hits in his last 26 at bats. They'll make it 14 in 26. Either way, he's hot. More action in the Giant bullpen. Give it up for Mr. Tony Watson, the left-hander. He was a guy a lot of people thought the Giants might move at the trade deadline, but they're still in the discussion. 6 games back in the NL West. All fastballs from Archie. Everything in on Buster Posey, trying to crowd him. Seven pitches for Archie so far, all 7 for strikes. And he tried the curveball that time, 1-2. It's always interesting to see how often Archie will throw that knuckle curve. He gets a little fastball happy sometimes. Just pounding Buster in at 95, 96.
This is looking like a Goldie at bat. Those pitches are way off the plate inside. We've seen a lot of teams pitch Goldie in a similar fashion. Hard fastballs in off the plate.
Just crowd him. Well, these
Buster
guys
looks a lot like Goldie when he gets in the batter's box and points that bat down his back.
Very similar swings and stances up there. There's the Goldie move right there. Buster stays alive. Another fastball. Posey hits it out to center. John Jay is there. Well, Archie Bradley, I don't know if you're a fan of the hold stat, but Archie leads the majors with 30 holds this year, 5 more than Yoshi Hirano. 30 holds, tied for second most in D-backs history in a single season, behind Brandon Lyon, who had 35 back in 07. Here's Longoria. First pitch curveball misses in. Longoria has an RBI single. He's doubled and scored. Here's a look at the D-backs defense against him. They overload the left-hand side. There's a fastball right down Main Street. 1-1. Been a big series for Longoria. He's got 7 hits, a couple of doubles. He homered Thursday. Another curveball, 2 balls and a strike. Longoria broke his left hand, hit by a pitch June 14th. He got plunked in Miami by Dan Straley. He was out 34 games. He's hit safely in 9 of 10 since he came off the DL just over a week ago. 2-2. Nick Hundley on deck. U of A Wildcat.
That's a good emergency swing by Evan Longoria right there. 97 on the outside corner at the knees. There's not much you can do with that pitch, but it's way too close to take in a 2-strike count. So just try to get a piece of it, stay alive.
Fastball in again. Giants made the big deal for Longoria in the offseason. Got him from Tampa Bay. They had 9 different players start at third last year. They finally got fed up. Had to go get somebody. Longoria hits a high fly ball deep to center field. And it's gone. Evan Longoria, his 3rd hit today, his 2nd in this series, and the Giants take a 3-2 lead. On to the home run porch off Archie Bradley.
Came on a fastball, center cut, just below the belt. The inability to drop that curveball in there for a strike at any point in that at bat. I think Longoria just gave up on the curveball and sat fastball the entire at bat.
Archie just does not throw that pitch very often to keep guys honest. Maybe not often enough. There's a fastball to Hundley. Hundley has walked. He's got an RBI single. That's Longoria's 12th of the year. Giants have out hit the D-backs 8-3. They lead it 3-2. Ketel Marte. 2 outs. D-backs in the bottom of the 8th will have the pitcher spot leading off, then Peralta and Escobar. 9-1-2. Watson, it looks like, continues to warm up in the Giant bullpen. Here's Austin Slater. Singled his last time up. Archie still talking to himself. He's got to shake that off. All hard fastballs in on these righties. 1-2. Rockies 5-4 winners in extra innings in Milwaukee. Dodgers have a 3-2 lead on Houston. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning in LA. 2-2 on Austin Slater. It's full. Panic on deck. 25 pitches for Bradley. Action in the Diamondback bullpen. Called strike 3. And he gets the strikeout, but Longoria gets the homer, and the Giants get the 3-2 lead.
know, one thing we will discuss Robbie Ray's day. Can you give us a quick summary of what you saw?
Yeah, it's a bit of an up and down for him, I believe. A little rough start. You know, a really long first at bat by Andrew McCutcheon. Settled down in the middle of the innings and then had a rough sixth inning. Just couldn't get to the pitch count again. Just got up on him.
All right, we'll break that down and we'll see how this plays out. But first, plenty more baseball to go. Steve and Bob, take it away.
Okay, guys, thanks. We'll look for that after our ball game. Archie Bradley still upset with himself after that Longoria homer made it 3-2 San Francisco. Pitcher spot will lead it off in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Diamondbacks. Daniel Descalso was out there as the pinch hitter. And Black was still out there, the right-hander. And finally, Bruce Bochy went out there and made the move to bring in the left-hander. Give it up for Mr. Tony Watson. 51 appearances, tied for the 12th most in the league, but he's 4th on that list in holds. We talked about Archie Bradley with a hold stat. Archie number 1 at 30. Watson is 4th on the list with 23. And he's out there now with a 3-2 lead.
And granted, this is going to be a lefty on lefty matchup, but I don't think Torey Lovullo minds it too much. Daniel Descalso 5 for 14 lifetime. That's a .357 average against the Giants left-hander.
Descalso will hit for Bradley. Daniel singled and walked in Friday's win over the Giants, his only appearance in the series so far. And now they'll be up there trying to get Archie off the hook. D-backs had a 1-0 lead on Steven Souza's home run to lead off the second. Giants got it back against Robbie Ray, top 3, and Evan Longoria RBI single. Then it was 2-1 D-backs after Escobar doubled, Marte singled him home. Giants tied it in the 6th. Longoria doubled, Hundley an RBI single, and now Longoria, his home run in the 8th, has made it 3-2 San Francisco. Here's Descalso, 263 and 9 home runs. Descalso sends one to right, and it's a base hit. Tying runs aboard. Here comes David Peralta. David 0 for 3. All 3 at bats against lefty Derek Holland. David did not get a good look at Holland. We'll see how he does here against Tony Watson, another left-hander.
David's had a measure of success against Tony Watson, 3 for 10 lifetime.
Here comes Longoria in from third. Fastball's a strike at the knees. Giants bullpen will stay busy. We've got some right-handers coming up. That looks like Sam Dyson down there, the right-hander. Diamondback bullpen busy as well. Longoria in at third. Peralta sends it to center. Hernandez, he can go get him. And Descalso's got to hustle back. He was standing on the second base bag when Gorkys Hernandez made the catch. Peralta gave it a ride deep to left center field.
I don't think David had any intention of bunting that first pitch. He knew he was going to take the first delivery from Watson. He showed bunt to draw the Giants defense in, and then took a whack at that second pitch. Hit it hard. Unfortunately, Hernandez able to run it down.
Yeah, that one gets down. It easily ties the game. Here's Eduardo Escobar, who has walked, doubled, and scored. Descalso the tying run at first base, 1 out. Gotta think this would be Watson's final hitter with Goldie on deck. Dyson warming up in the pen. Changeup misses down low. Boxberger up, the right-hander, along with the lefty Jake Diekman of the Sanderson Ford bullpen. That'll get out of play. 1-1. They've gone to the 9th in Los Angeles. Dodgers lead the Astros 3-2. D-backs for the moment 1 game up on LA atop the NL West. Rockies 1 at Milwaukee. There goes Descalso. Got a good jump. Escobar fouled off a fastball. Reaches out and pokes it down the line, and it's just foul. That's how he doubled back in the 4th. Came in and scored. That one almost dropped into fair territory. Descalso has to go back to first.
Daniel Descalso getting his road work in this inning.
Sure is.
Get your legs loose.
Tied him up with a slider. 2 down. Goldie is the hitter. Dyson, the right-hander, ready in the Giant bullpen.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
No sign of Bruce Bochy. Goldie has hit into a double play and walked twice. 0 for 1.
And Goldie 3 for 5 lifetime against Sam Dyson, 1 for 5 against Tony Watson. So Bruce Bochy's going to roll with his lefty here.
Well. And again, all kinds of room on the right side for Goldie. Panic is almost right behind the bag at second. Posey holding Descalso on the base at first. And Watson is behind 2-0. All that room on the right side. Descalso at first, 2 outs. There you go. He's into it. Slider is low. It's 3-1. Steven Souza Jr., who homered in the 2nd. Off the lefty, Derek Holland is on deck. Goldie's already walked twice today. Ball 4. So the tying run is in scoring position. The go-ahead run is at first, and Souza's the hitter. Here comes Bruce Bochy. He wants the right-hander Dyson. D-backs down 1. 2 on and 2 outs in the 8th. Back in a moment. To 2, 2 on and 2 outs in the 8th inning. And here's the right-hander Sam Dyson, who will face Souza. Dyson's 55th appearance of the year. He's been a closer in the big leagues for a long time. A 2.87 ERA. Right-hand batters have just 3 hits in their last 27 at-bats against Dyson. Descalso's at second. He's the tying run. Goldie's at first. He's the go-ahead run. Here's Souza, who homered in the second. Diamondbacks still with only 4 hits in the ball game. They've been out hit 8-4. They trail it 3-2.
D-backs only 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position today. They just haven't had many base runners, period.
Yeah. It hit him, and the bases are loaded for Ketel Marte. Well, it's just gone final at Dodger Stadium. LA has won. They beat the Astros 3-2. So unless this score here changes, D-backs will be back into a tie for the NL West lead with the Dodgers. Marte has an RBI single today, 1 for 3. He homered here last night. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Diamondbacks, remember, with the bases loaded, did not do a whole lot. That was a recurring theme for much of the year. Before the All-Star break, the D-backs were 154 with the bases full. Since the All-Star break, that average with the bases loaded is 471. Descalso is at third. Goldie's at second. Souza's at first. Dyson lost the handle on a changeup, and it's 1-1. Rockies have won in Milwaukee. Dodgers have won at home against the Astros. Another fastball right down Main Street there. It's 1-2.
Talking about the Diamondbacks hitting with the bases loaded. It wasn't until the last road trip in Chicago they got their first grand slam of the season. Nick Ahmed with a blast into the bleachers in left field.
Well, a single here would do nicely. Dyson might want that changeup here. Ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It looks like the changeup grip in the glove.
Well, got it, left it out there. Marte punched it foul. Patel, a switch hitter. He's over 300 from the right side. He's at 226 from the left. But legit home run power from either side of the plate.
It's another changeup.
2-2.
It's a hard one like Zach Greinke's. He throws at 87, 88, 89. Some fading action away from a left-handed hitter.
Left field, Slater's there. Diamondbacks down 1, leave them loaded. Well, head to the 9th, they trail the Giants 3-2. Sunday fans, after our D-backs game, the season debut of the local 9 as Todd Walsh sits down with Archie Bradley, Yoshi Hirano, and D-backs pitching coach Mike Butcher to find out their favorite things to do and places to go outside the ballpark. It's the D-backs local 9 presented by CenturyLink next Sunday after the D-backs and Reds game on Fox Sports Arizona. Left-hander Jake Diekman, who worked in the ball game last night, threw only 1 pitch, is on to start the 9th inning. Joe Panik will lead it off for the Giants. Panik 233 on the year. He's a 165 hitter against lefties this season. Gorkys Hernandez is the next scheduled hitter. There's no one in the on-deck circle for the Giants. There's a strike 0-1. 0-2 on Panik as Hernandez makes his way out there now. Diekman from the Texas Rangers, acquired at the trade deadline by the Diamondbacks. Left-hand power pitcher, mid-90s fastball. Jake appeared in 47 games this year with Texas. 1-1, couple of saves, a 3.69 ERA. Panik hits it off the side of the mound. A funny hop for Ahmed, but he cleans it up nicely. That just kind of skidded off the side of the pitcher's mound. 1 out.
And Diekman will get a chance on this next road trip to return to Texas. D-backs have a 2-game series against the Rangers there after 3 in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's a long road trip. Then 4 at San Diego.
Yeah, an off day and then 4 at San Diego.
Your staff making that trip at all?
I don't know. They're talking about chartering a plane for him. I don't think I can go that far.
It does seem above and beyond. I'm not sure they've earned the privilege of setting foot on Ohio soil.
You know, had I won the 50-50 last night, maybe the staff goes on the next trip, but hang with them.
That's hard to short. Look at Ahmed. That was an absolute bullet, and it took a big hop up on Nick. Got that glove hand up there quickly. 2 down. This thing is smoked.
There's a couple steps to his left, kind of held his ground there, went down to a crouch to play that big hop. And because it's hit so hard, he knows he has plenty of time to get that throw across the diamond. Nicely done.
Alan Hansen, the shortstop for the Giants, 0 for 3. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th will have Ahmed, Jay, and Murphy due up 6, 7, and 8. D-back still with only 4 hits. Fastballs this strike.
Ground ball off the bat of Gorkis Hernandez, 105 miles an hour on one big hop right to Nick Ahmed.
We always think of exit velocity in terms of home runs, but you can hit it just as hard on the ground as we just saw. One more time for Ahmed. This is going to be like a record or something. 3 6-3s rolled by Diekman. Bottom 9 coming up. Trailing 3-2. Nick was tremendous last night. As the D-backs had a runaway win. Ahmed's second career multi-homer game. His 15th and 16th of the year. He's 0 for 3 today. New pitcher for the Giants. He's recorded their last 6 saves. It's the left-hander Will Smith. And he's put up very good numbers this year. A 1.31 ERA, which is the 4th lowest among all major league relievers.
Big time strikeout pitcher. 48 punch outs in 34 1/3. He's only walked 7. Is yet to give up a home run.
Brandon Crawford takes over at shortstop, replacing Hansen. Nick today has flied out twice, struck out 0 for 3. We've got the lefty John Jay due up next. He's out there in the on deck circle, and then John Ryan Murphy. Nick in his last 14 games has hit .405. Last 30 games, .330. It's been a tremendous month offensively. Slider misses low, 1-1.
If you're looking at the possibility of a pinch hitter here at the bottom of the order, where Lovello has the other 2 catchers available, Alex Avila from the left side, Jeff Mathis from the right, also A.J. Pollock available off the bench today.
Well, you could go with A.J. to get the right-hand bat in there for John Jay, but Jay is out there set to face the lefty. 1-2 on Ahmed. Broken bat, roller, Crawford. There you go. First one finds him. Nice low catch there by Posey at first, and they retire Ahmed to start the 9th.
It's uncanny how often that happens. A new guy into the ball game defensively here in the 9th inning, and the first ball hit right to him.
So here's John Jay. Jay this year has been about a .240 hitter versus lefties. 0 for 3 so far today. No shift on by the Giants. John Ryan Murphy on deck. One and two. D-backs just 7-8 against the Giants this year, 4-5 here at Chase Field. Giants 2 outs away from salvaging a 4-game split. Giants have not played very well on the road this year. They are 10 games under 500 away from AT&T Park.
Miami and San Diego have a lower road winning percentage.
1 and 2 on John Jay. trying to get out of play, and it does. Longoria almost went over the top rope.
That one hit one of the wires holding the netting that protects the fans sitting behind the third base dugout. It hit one of the wires and ricocheted farther into foul territory. I think Longoria thought he might have had a play on it.
Well, John Jay can do this to you. Just kind of drive you nuts until he gets something to hit. Waves at a slider. Hundley finishes off the strikeout, 2 down. John Ryan Murphy heading back, and here comes A.J. Pollock. A.J. not in the starting lineup, a scheduled off day for him. So it's up to A.J. Base is empty, 2 down. Pollock at 286 with 15 home runs, and he will hit for Murphy. Giants will overload the left-hand side against A.J., who has singled twice and walked twice in the series. He's also struck out 6 times. Here's a breaking ball. Pitcher spot up next. Jeff Mathis has come out in the on-deck circle for Torey Lovullo. Should Pollock reach? Belted, foul. Got a slider. Webby and Todd standing by. D-backs live post-game show follows our ball game. Don't forget, we'll continue the homestand tomorrow night. The Phillies are in here, first of 3. Zach Godley versus Jake Arrieta. Lays off the fastball upstairs. It's 1-2. A.J. last night 0 for 4. That snapped a 5-game hit streak for him. Lays off a slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. Got him. Diamondbacks manage only 4 hits. They drop the finale 3-2 and settle for a 4-game split with the Giants. And they drop into a tie with the Dodgers for the lead in the National League West.
A great job by the Giants bullpen today after Derek Holland went 5 1/3. Gave up only 3 hits in his stint in the ballgame. Just not enough offense today.
2 runs on 4 hits. They left 6. So we'll welcome in the Phillies starting tomorrow night. Right now, let's welcome in Webby and Todd. It's D-backs Live, brought to you by CenturyLink. Todd.
Steve, thank you very much. And Brandon, certainly the Diamondbacks had their chances late, right?
Yeah, they absolutely did. Only squandered 4 hits all day, but had some chances, had some guys on base. Again, couldn't get that big hit. close game all around, but Longo had a nice game, had a game-winning home run and put it over the edge.
And we'll talk about that and talk about Archie Bradley. I know you have a couple of thoughts on maybe a pitch that you'd like to see in his repertoire. That and more. So we'll come back in just a couple of moments here as our coverage continues on Fox Sports Arizona with Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show. Bob Brenly standing by. Kate Longworth is here. She'll be inside the clubhouse. And, of course, as always, in segment 1, we'll hear from manager Torey Lovello. We'll do all that in just a little bit. Tough to win a 4-game series. Diamondbacks split. We'll take a look at the National League West and update perhaps an injury to one of the best players in baseball right after these messages.